Hi, I'm Zara, and we're going to share our journey of finding a British curriculum school in Dubai, because as of filming this, we move in 2 months. Exciting. So we currently live in the UK and we have 2 boys, Riley and Reggie. Currently they are 10 and 7 and they are in year 3 and year 5 in their UK school. So my research started with Googling best schools in Dubai. I quickly realised that we needed a British curriculum school in Dubai. So that narrowed it down slightly. Still lots and lots of schools in Dubai to choose from. So one thing that we had done previously was join a Facebook group called Brits in Dubai. So I posted a question in there to ask about schools. Some of the advice that I got was to check out the KHDA government website, which has a listing of all the schools. And you can also then filter this down to area. You can filter it down to what curriculum that you're looking for. So this was really, really helpful and something that I used. It is like a government website. So it is like the Ofsted, what we'd know in the UK for schools. So again, it was a trusted source. I'll put a link to that in the description for you. So I shortlisted some schools after looking on YouTube, virtual tours, and also checking out the school's website. Shared that then with Adam, and to be honest, he was more interested in how much was this going to cost. That was his job. So he checked out the fees. We again put all these into a spreadsheet as well. You may think we're spreadsheet nerds. Well, Adam definitely is, but it kind of does help because you're doing lots and lots of research, and it helps just to make a note so you've got it all in one place. That really helped us a lot. After the shortlist was shortlisted again, I then went onto the school's website, and they have a section on there where you can book either a virtual tour or go and see the school in person. So I emailed the schools and arranged a school tour. We actually flew over there for this reason mainly. And we took the boys with us. There were a lot of parents there that didn't have their children with us, but because we were moving as a family and it is a big, big move for us, we really wanted to include the boys in the school tour to get them excited about the move as much as we are. The only real information that you need at that point to book the school tour is just your children's name, what year groups they're currently in, and when you're expecting to move over to Dubai. That is all they need from you. Nice and easy. So we had booked 3 school visits. So the first one was Hartland International School. I will link to the websites for the schools that we went to. Next, we went to Repton Barsha. And thirdly, we went to Jebel Ali School. The school tuition fees, I mentioned it previously, but they are all visible on the school's website. They're normally broken down into year groups, and sometimes also by term as well.
Just as a quick bit of context, I was very biased going into this because I had the privilege of going to Repton in the UK. So when we got this shortlist, I was like, we've got shortlist, Hartlands, Jebel Ali and Repton. I was already thinking it's probably going to be Repton. But I'll let Sarah explain as to her views on the schools, because at the end of the day, she's the boss. But in terms of the fee structure as well, is like Sarah said, it's broken out per term. There's a small deposit needed depending on which school that you choose. And again, we put it all into a spreadsheet in terms of working out actually what's the liability every term that we've got to pay for, all in AED, but really simply like mapped out on the website. Sorry for interrupting.
I'll let you off. So school visit 1 was Hartland International School. So this tour was just us and the admission officer who gave us a tour. We wasn't with any other family, so it was really, really nice to sort of walk around and have the whole thing to ourselves. We got shown the primary area of the school. As mentioned, our boys are still going to be in the primary stage of the school. The school runs from foundation all the way up to secondary, the end of secondary. Not really sure what year that group that is now, actually. Year what year is that? We got shown all of the classrooms, we got shown the massive auditorium there, the sports centre, the pool, the outdoor areas. We really, really liked the school and got good vibes. The admission lady was so nice that showed us round. She made sure that she'd answered all of our questions. As it was our first school tour, to be honest, we wasn't really sure what to ask. And I think Adam sort of mentioned at the end, it is our first school tour. Is there any questions that parents normally ask, that's not been covered? And I think she actually came up with a few, so it was really helpful for us. One thing that really stood out to us that she also mentioned was the fact that children need to be fluent in English to join the school. And naturally, the children will learn quicker if English is everyone's first language.
It's me again. I'm doing this thing where I know that people hate it when they hold these things, but it's just for speed. So I just covered off all like the rational stuff that's really important, but I think one thing to cover off is like one of the key drivers for the move for us is about the kids and the kids' education, and having them there with us and just seeing their excitement, happiness, and I guess the world that they could be moving into, and like kind of like just letting go of the UK and just going, we really want to be here, because they could see how great it would be and their opportunities. And it not just coming from us, but coming from them, and them leaving that room and going, that's pretty cool, we'd love to go to school here. That was like a big box tick for us. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think it's a really good point, actually. I would say moving on to, just to mention that our children are at a mainstream school. They're not in private education here in the UK. And for me, that's what it felt like visiting those schools. It is on another level, right?
Yeah, like I said, I was like pretty privileged. I went to like Repton in the UK, so I had a understanding of like what the difference, because me and Sarah actually went to school together when we were young, and I ended up going to Repton, which is a private school here in the UK, and I saw the difference in terms of like what's possible in terms of like the facilities, education, all that great stuff, and I went there, I guess, with the expectations of what Repton was like in the UK, and this even felt like a notch up above that. So I was like super impressed and excited for the boys. Anyway, leave you to it.
So Heartlands for us, we were really, really impressed straight away, but we had nothing else to compare it to. So we had an open mind to our next school visit. The next visit was Repton Barsha, which, as Adam mentioned, he was super excited about this, because you went to Repton in the UK. First impressions coming to the school, it was very, very different to Repton in the UK, naturally. We were greeted and shown round again by the admissions officer, just us and the admissions officer, which was nice. One thing that stood out to me, having already visited one school in Dubai, is that Hartland felt very open and welcoming. And I think that Repton for me had that private school sort of vibe and that feeling. It didn't put me off initially. Walking around the corridors and the classrooms, it felt slightly crowded. It felt really hustly and bustly in the corridors, which I expected it to be a bit more organised, let's say sort of organised, with staff telling children not to run in the corridors, especially with the school tours going on, I would think on a sort of daily, weekly basis.
Actually got invited back onto this one. I guess my view is, having been to Repton in the UK, there for 5 years, 2 years at Formark, which is the prep school leading up to that, I kind of know what Repton feels like, because I spent so long of my life there. And I didn't get that feeling when I went to Repton in Dubai. And that's natural. It's like not where I've spent a tremendous amount of time. It's a different place. But I think I went in there with the expectations of like, this will be like sending my boys to the same place that I went to. And it just definitely wasn't that. Completely different vibe, but it's in a different territory, in a different part of the world. So I can't hold that against it. But I then had to, I guess, be more objective and go, irrespective of the fact that like one of the libraries is named after my old headmaster. And I was like, oh my word, it's like being back at school. It's really cool. And it'd be really nice to be able to say, I went to Repton, my boys went to Repton in Dubai. I think Sarah forced me to just take a slightly more objective view of it. So I guess that's the only thing I want to add. I guess actually last thing, from a location perspective, Heartlands had what felt like a more enjoyable community around the school, where we go, actually, because I think one thing that's important for us is to be able to walk the kids to school and spend that time. And Heartlands felt more accessible, felt there's a bit more of a community compared to like where Repton is specifically based. Do you agree? Good?
You've just given away. You're just giving it away. Our last school visit was Jebel Ali School. We'd heard some great things about this, actually, and it was also near Damak Lagoons, which was one of the areas that was being built when we first went out to Dubai, and we were like, wow, this looks amazing, all the plans and things like that. So we thought, okay, definitely let's go and check out this school, because we kind of like the houses that are around here, the townhouses and the villas. So this was a lead really for us to go and check out this school. This tour, there was probably about 5-6 other families with us on this tour. So again, it didn't have the same feel as the other two when it's just you and the admissions officer. It was quite, it was very sort of structured, and they had a way in which they do it. Questions were kind of like left until the end. You couldn't sort of ask anything really while you were walking around. Again, the school had a really nice vibe. It felt airy and fresh. So for us, we actually did a rating system while we were out there. After each school, we all said what we liked, what we didn't like about the schools, including the boys, and we gave it a rating out of 10. I can't actually remember what we rated all the scores for each of us, naturally, because it was a while ago now. But we shortlisted it down between Hartlands and Jebel Ali. Before we share the school that we've chosen, again, everything that I've said is just our opinions of what we wanted from a school, our take on the vibes we got when we walked round. Everyone is different, and all of the schools are amazing in Dubai. The ones we viewed all had great ratings and are fantastic schools. But the one that we chose was Hartlands. Hartland International School for us, as soon as we walked round, it had a great feeling, a great vibe. It was so spacious, open, airy, and just gave a real sort of welcoming, fresh vibe. It just gave us all real good feeling when we walked around. The admissions officer was absolutely lovely. And again, for me, you kind of want to get to know the person that's showing you around the school. And the staff, again, are going to be a lot about what the school is like. So after choosing your child's school, you then have to do an assessment. It was 525 AED per child. It's a bit of a grey area as to why they need to do this, but it is just the next step in the process. It's just to check, from my understanding, that they can speak English, that they're at a certain level at school, and that no additional sort of support, any learning support is needed. The options for the school assessment are either in person at the school, or they can arrange it with your children's current school here in the UK. We decided to do it in person at Hartlands. I mean, any excuse to visit Dubai, I'm going to take it. And also, because we chose the school, we now needed to have a look at property in the area. So this is what we did on this trip. I will cover this off in a separate video though. When doing the school assessment, we arrived, it took around 2 hours for both boys to finish the assessment. They went in together. Heartlands have a staff and parent, almost like canteen, cafe area. So we got to chill there while the boys did their assessment. The boys came out and they were super excited. We were told by the admissions officer that we would hear back within 7 days. I got an email within, I think it was 2 or 3 days. So it came back real fast, which was nice because we were all really excited and awaiting the email. From then, we had to respond as whether we wanted to take the place. From here, you have to pay 10% of the annual tuition fee for the school. There was also some paperwork that we had to complete, medical information, sign some letters and things like that. So all that was done, and the boys then were secured the place at Heartlands. Thanks for listening, guys, and watching. I'm here and happy to answer any questions in the comments that you guys have got. I know this can be a really daunting process, and I'm more than happy to help anyone that is looking to move to Dubai.